Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Kryptic TMG back again with another video, and this is round 9 of the season 7 AOR GT3 Elite Championship. And yeah, I mean, gotta apologize for how long I've took to get this video out, and also apologize again because I actually messed up the recording for this race. And yeah, my PS4 control pad, really sticky share button, so sometimes when I go to double tap it, single taps and it just deletes the whole footage that I had before that, which is just so annoying. But yeah, going into this race, it's just a brief recap. As I said, I messed up the recording, so I don't have any of the first part of the race really. This race was set to be dry and then turn wet halfway through the race, so I was feeling, you know, maybe a little bit confident for the second half of the race. I wasn't feeling that confident for the first half of the race, and to be honest, I don't know how I actually managed to get on the front row of the grid, because in practice I was well off the pace, and I just couldn't find a setup that had the perfect balance, so I ended up just going with a dry setup, and yeah, pretty much threw it together at the last minute, and surprised I managed to get a 40.3 in quali. Yeah, I mean, CJ was untouchable, he got like a 39.9. It's a great track for the Bentley again, high altitude, and plus CJ is super fast in that car, so yeah, I was a bit shocked I managed to get on the front row. I was literally well off in practice, but because I don't have the first part of the race, it's better I just explain what happened. And yeah, again, another dreadful mistake going into, actually on lap 1 after the formation lap, going into the bus-up chicane, hit the brakes and the back end just steps around on me, and I just smashed straight into the wall, and yeah, end up pitting, coming out last place. And it was pretty much just a drive to just try and catch back up and try and just secure any sort of points, even though for me the championship was over a long time ago. But yeah, the car didn't feel great, especially in the second half of the race. It didn't feel particularly good, and yeah, for me, I was just pretty much just racing for fun at this point. My teammate did seem to have the pace on me all through practice, so I was a bit surprised to actually qualify ahead of him. But yeah, I mean, the race was just a disaster. I've had so many bad races this season, so many mistakes, and I mean, I've counted what, maybe 5-6 spins I've had in races, which is really bad. So yeah, I mean, another race down the pan, but this one was quite a good one to watch. It was quite controversial in the end as well, and you can see, look at my rear tyres, literally burning red hot. I get on the curb, spin it, and slap it into the wall all over again. You see all my hard work undone. I'm trying to steer the car backwards to make sure I'm not getting in anybody's way. I thought, I can't be arsed. It wasn't really a rage quit, I just couldn't really be bothered to drive anymore. The car was just handling like absolute poo. But I did actually stick around to watch the guys at the front battling. CJ and my teammate, they were at the front just going hammer and tongue, and I think CJ must have got a corner cut penalty somewhere down the line, because cars managed to get in front, and yeah, it was literally just a ding dong battle. From what I could see, they were literally nose to tail for pretty much ever since I spun. So they hadn't had a bigger gap than, I think, a second or a second and a half. That was the biggest gap they had between each other. CJ seemed to have a slight edge on pace because he seemed to be so quick up the hill. He was just gaining so much time, and the Bentley is pretty good on the brakes, surprising with the size of the car, but definitely pretty handy on the brakes. And yeah, the win was obviously going to be between these two, because as you can see, there's absolutely nobody in the background behind them. They've actually bolted, and I think the gap at this point in the race, I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it was upwards of about 40 seconds, and bear in mind we're only like halfway, just over halfway through the race at this point. And I think you'll see now as they're coming towards the first corner, yeah, I mean, the gap, there's just no one in the background, and I'll show you now how far the guy in third place is behind. That is a good, that's the whole last sector they are behind. You can see they've already gone through the first corner. So yeah, it's insane the speed they had. It was a really quick race, and unfortunately for them, they actually both ended up getting disqualified from the race for track limits, corner cutting, and it was quite controversial. Not the fact that they got disqualified, because obviously if you go over the limit on especially on the bust up chicane, as you see there, that, you know, it's punishable. I've got no problems with that. But the person who actually got them disqualified was actually corner cutting himself and taking the exact same line. So it was a bit, you know, bit contradictory. But I mean, yeah, they put in a steward's appeal to the person who put in the steward's appeal against them, but it was too late, and yeah, it ended with them both getting disqualified, and the person who got them disqualified actually ended up keeping his result, which ended up being a very good result in the end. So a little bit controversial and obviously annoying for these guys, and you know, sometimes you have to think. For me personally, if I know I'm corner cutting, I'm definitely not going to be taking anybody else to the stewards, because it kind of, you know, it's I don't know, it's a bit funny. Me personally, if I know I'm corner cutting, I'm not taking anyone to the stewards, because it's not fair for me to do something myself and then judge others. So yeah. But anyway, forgetting all that, yeah, for me personally, I mean, I was just racing for fun. The championship over a long time ago for me, and one of the things that, I mean, not really annoys me, but one of the things that I don't agree with is probably the point system in AOR. There needs to be a bigger gap between first and second, because pretty much if you miss a race for whatever reason, if you get disconnected or whatever, have a wheel bug, have a game bug, whatever, then it's almost impossible to catch back up in the championship. Almost impossible, because there's only a 3-point difference between first and second, which I think is a bit too small. I think if you win a race, you've got to have at least a 5 or 8 point swing in your favor, because that's what a win's worth. And I think that way you can always fight your way back into a championship or stuff like that. So hopefully in the future there's something that will change, but for now it's set at 3 points. So I think this might be the last elite season on Project Cars 1. Project Cars 2 obviously will be carrying on with the championships, but I'm not sure what's going to be happening. I know they're running their IndyCar league, and yeah, that's going to run probably until, I don't know, maybe August, September, I don't know. That's going to run for quite a while. So yeah, I doubt we'll be doing another GT3 elite season on P cars, but I'm sure we are going to be doing a championship on a set of Corsa, which I'm going to be doing. So don't worry, there'll still be more videos coming, there'll still be more races coming. It'll just be on a set of Corsa. I'll probably still be doing setup videos for this game anyway. But yeah, as you can see, these are really ding dong battle, and they're just pushing. Massive gap they've got behind them, and obviously between these two, you can see how the advantage of having the Z4. The Z4 is a lot more stable, and it's just got a lot of grip going through corners. You can see CJ is having to fight the Bentley, even though it's very quick. He's still having to fight the Bentley. But where the Bentley is strong is where we're coming up to now. When it's coming out of the first corner, going up the hill, the power going up the hill, the Bentley just eats up the ground on the Z4. And yeah, that's you know, with some cars, you know, it's very hard to get the best out of them. For me personally, I find the Rough to be one of the best, if not the best, all-round GT3 car, but I'm just no good at driving it. So it just doesn't work for me. My favourite car is the M3 in the GT3 class. But the Rough, I think all-round is probably, I mean, take into consideration all tracks, all conditions, I think the Rough is the best all-round GT3 car, but it is quite tricky to set up for me. But yeah, it's just a brief recap of this race. MPC ended up winning this race after the disqualification for Carl and CJ. So yeah, I think there was only made it about 5 finishes for this race. Not a lot of people showed up for this one, so unfortunate that happened, but you know, sometimes it is what it is. People got other engagements, and you can see there not a lot of people in the race at this point. I think Manuel actually managed to make his way up to 2nd place, pretty much securing the championship by this point. So yeah, that's been it. I've been Kryptic TMG. Remember to like, subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter at Kryptic TMG, man. I need to get my Twitter account going, man. I need to get that going. So yeah, follow me on Twitter, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.